Welcome to the Real Chat Podcast,
where we talk business, lifestyle, and mindset.
For the modern entrepreneur.
I'm Baxter Colburn.
I'm Allison Elise.
I'm Mandi Wilkie. Let's chat.
Hi, friends. How
Hi.
are we today? Welcome to another episode of the Real Chat Podcast. That's Mandi Cutie Pie sitting over there. Baxter wishing we were on a boat. I'm Allie, also known as Al.
Al,
If you ever want to,
if you're a friend,
yes, you can call
her
me Al. Yeah, people that know me well call me
I think I
Al.
called you Al once. And
me
you yelled at me for that.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
Maybe
you can
were
call me Al.
Having a day.
You can call me Al. Maybe I was just having a day. I have a lot of those.
I want a nickname.
Man.
Or, no, it
Hey, man.
Hey, man.
doesn't
D?
work well.
We call you D.
Can we
D-
figure out a nickname? If you guys have any tips,
Workshop
be nice.
as
let's
we go
be
along.
nice.
Let's find Mandi a nickname.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that would be fun.
Baxter, what are you wearing today?
Amazon bathing suits. I think
I
this
didn't
is
mean
Old
like-
Navy or Target. I don't know.
I didn't mean
what
who are
it
you
is.
wearing? Why are you wearing what you're wearing?
Because a couple episodes you talked about wanting to take the podcast on the boat, and this is me. You talked about manifesting, and like this is me manifesting an episode of the podcast on your boat. So I am dressed and ready. So if we want to go from this record to the boat, I am dressed.
Nice.
We can
It
do
is
that
a beautiful
Thursday.
day. It is such a
It is
beautiful
sunny
day.
out. It is incredible. It's
I will be at
85 degrees outside right now.
I'm not available Thursday, so don't do it without
We'll be
me.
there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Well, look at that.
Wow.
That's kicking off the 4th of July holiday.
That is true. You're going to have children
Yeah.
there as well? Or are you just wide open? Or
A little bit of both.
a little bit of both?
Yeah, they'll be
Nice.
coming and going.
Allie and I will drive up.
Yeah, anytime, really.
I'll be gone from Thursday to Sunday,
sure.
but
What are
then
a few more
I'm going
mouths
to
to feed?
Right.
for real. Monday, I could maybe. No,
Bring it on
anyway.
up. Bring it on up.
How far away is it?
40 minutes.
Oh,
That's not bad. That's how far away mine is.
nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's nothing.
Child's
Easy.
But you have to drive through traffic to get to yours.
I do. You're
we
right.
do not.
True.
We do not have any traffic.
Yeah.
You do not. No.
No, it's like perfect. Like you can drink a cup of coffee on the way and it's very
That's
relaxing.
good.
Drive across 29 and you're
Sounds
there.
like a win to me.
I love 29.
Yeah. It's
I look
easy
forward
peasy.
to doing an episode or 3 this summer. Up
Yeah.
there.
We should probably find a time when it's not the holiday, right? We have a lot of people coming for
Right.
the
Afterwards.
holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could take a weekday. Actually, I did ask the big guy to be on. He's a bit of an entrepreneur,
The
you
big
know.
guy.
Failed entrepreneur a couple of times, now pretty successful.
That's pretty
True.
cool.
He's got quite a story, actually. You
I would
guys
love to
probably
hear
be
it.
Pretty impressed. But if we were,
He was at my wedding. I should probably get to know him.
you should probably.
Yeah.
If he's gonna be on the podcast, we just make a requirement that he has to be on the boat
Right,
after,
exactly.
Yeah.
or before,
Or just say, like, we'll do it on the boat. Like, we'll come to you.
Yeah.
We'll do the
Happy to
podcast on the
accommodate.
boat.
equipment on water.
Right. This is not hard to do.
We
like,
could
I'm
do the
happy to-
podcast
Easy.
on the deck by the water and
Okay.
then go on the boat.
There you go.
At like golden hour.
Ooh.
Jesus, sure.
Think of the aesthetic. Think of
I'm
the
all
vibe.
about that golden hour.
The golden hour.
cruise.
It's actually beautiful. We have a little beach too. We could
So
We could do it
fun.
on the beach, and the sunset goes down on the beach. It's.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Let's
This
make
will
it
be-
happen.
This location will forever be trashed if we do that because
Correct.
then
Yeah. And we
nothing will
talked
ever
about taking the
compare
show to Naples,
unless we go
like-
to
But we also talked
Florida.
about taking it on the road to a few places, like
Yeah.
Mile 22. Let's go
100%.
coffee. Take the podcast to the.
I love
Very
that.
open
I
to
mean,
going.
wouldn't it be fun to just go into one of these people that we've had on, to go into their business, and then be like, let's talk to the locals?
Right.
How cool
People,
would that be?
Sign me
How
up.
cool would that be?
Miles
Yeah.
You know
22
the
would be
little
great with
mini
that.
microphones? I have those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
To
Clip
take it
them
on the
our
road
little-
for a few. That'd be really cool.
Those are my
Yeah.
favorite.
Like, yeah, love that.
So, what are we talking about today?
I think the best shows that we've ever done is when we don't have a plan. We had teased something to do with summer as a whole and like how
Yeah.
summertime, it's negative 12 outside.
I have a
don't know what
sweater
you're
on
talking about.
because Allie has it at 62 degrees
It is
in the vault.
A bit icy.
68 in here.
68.
It's ridiculous. It's summer. My feet
sound
are
like-
like ice cubes.
Sound like my mom. Anything below 80, she puts
Step
socks on.
outside.
I did.
Freezing. She
I
did.
did. I
We
did.
were
I was just
outside.
standing
It
outside.
is pretty
I had to
cold in
thaw
here.
Mandi for a moment.
I had a birthday party in here over the weekend.
Yes,
And
Wild Wild West.
Wild Wild West for my soon-to-be 3-year-old.
Crazy.
And
So adorable.
it was Western themed. And
See what you did there?
I
Yeah.
knew, I knew
if you didn't get it, you better have a
didn't
cup
get
of
it.
coffee.
I knew that it was going to get warm in here with the family members and people coming in and out and
Yeah.
the door being open and stuff. And so I literally did send it to, like, I set it to 62 degrees in here.
Never
And it
changed
was like 71 in here at the height of the
That's not
party.
bad.
So
Oh,
it was like
perfect.
comfortable, but I was dying. Like I was sweating so bad, but I was also like running all over the place
Yeah.
and cleaning up
Hosting,
and
you're
putting
doing
food
all the
out. And
things,
so
yeah.
your adrenaline
Right.
just, your body functions differently when you are,
Correct.
Yeah.
in
When we're
charge of
sitting on a
things.
couch versus actually doing.
Correct.
That is very true.
So I'm very sorry that you're cold, but I'm not cold right now.
It's fine. I mean, my
It's not about you.
goosebumps are-
Is your name on the lease, Mandy? It's not.
Sorry,
Wow.
friends.
Boom.
It's true. But summertime is always fascinating to me because we get to travel more. Some people calm down on their business. Other people ramp up because they're like, I'm going to relax in the summer. The kids are out of school. So we go do stuff as a family, right? So it's my chill time. And then the fall, I go back at it, right? Or whatever. But
Yeah.
for each of us specifically, what does summer look like for life and for business for you, Mandy?
It's chaotic. The kids are getting to the age. I mean, the older kids have their jobs, right? So they feel like that's somewhat normalized now. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, we're all working in the summer, which, 2 years ago I was like, what am I going to do with these kids while they're home?
Right.
McGuire's and all the things, but July is kind of our big month. So, Shane's family does 4th of July in a very big way.
That's
and
awesome.
Family from all over comes, and there's like 25 people staying at the lake house for a week to 10 days.
Wow.
So
Nice.
that kind of kicks off this.
Sounds fun.
It really is like the first time I'll have the boat in the water, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. So it's kind of kicking off it's been raining for 2 weeks.
Right.
So that kind of kicks off summer. So we do that. We actually have to sneak off to Florida for one of his work conferences that I will benefit greatly from. It's really targeted to small business owners and entrepreneurs in the martial arts world, but there will be takeaways for me. So I'm going this
Absolutely.
year.
Oh, cool.
We come back for a week and then we're taking McGuire on our first cruise. So
Oh my
we will be gone
gosh.
for 10 days on the Wonder of the Sea.
Yeah.
And then we'll settle right back into August with 2 kids starting college mid
Yeah.
to end of August.
Send them off and back at it.
So personally wise, I would say, I try to do a little bit of traveling in the
Yeah.
summer, but not a ton because everyone's so busy. But business wise for me, I've really tried to stay steady this year. That's been kind of my ammo, not have in the past 6 years, I've had push months and then easy months where I'm pushing, and then I'm kind of stepping back. This year, since February, I've stayed very consistent.
That's great.
And
Love that.
that's the way I hope to keep it.
Do you feel like now that you're 6 years into it, do you have more systems in place that you can go on, vacations? Because I have you in my head from a couple episodes ago saying I have a deadline. Like I still have to do this thing. Like, do you feel
I've just gotten better at
confident?
working ahead.
I would say you feel like you're more set
now
up
I would
for it?
say we have our feature families through 2024.
Good.
They're all done.
All booked,
They're
okay.
all done and
All captured.
Yep.
Perfect. Wow.
Yep. That's all in order.
Amazing.
And we have kind of a waiting list for 2025. So even though they're not all, and I don't want to call it a waiting list, but like an organized list of people that have said, yes, we can do it whenever. So
Perfect.
we'll start implementing that. I have a good team. The
makes a
team likes
difference.
to work ahead. So 2 to 3 months, rarely. I'll give you an example though. Our August family that had said yes, they called and they're like, we just got slammed with tournaments and things that we weren't expecting. Luckily, someone in the neighborhood had a baby and they had this beautiful photo shoot done of this brand new baby. So I just called and I'm like, hey, we're in a bit of a pinch. We have to do a shuffle.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can we feature your beautiful brand new baby on the cover? And they're like, yes, please.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because
cool.
it's an heirloom for them.
Absolutely
I mean, it becomes
is, yeah.
a momentous, and we're celebrating this brand new addition to the neighborhood. So, luckily that worked out. It doesn't always work out that way. And in 6 years, I can say that's happened like 3 times. So
okay.
it's not a lot when you have 36,
Yeah.
36, 48 issues, you're bound to hit some hiccups, but yeah. So we just keep strolling along.
I love that.
See what I did there?
Seeing what you did there.
What about you guys? I mean, Allie, we kind of know you have a new vibe on summers, right? With no more weddings.
Very few.
So
Yeah.
very
few.
few. I mean, not no more. Like
lot
special people if they
less.
got married, the people that you really love,
Yeah.
if they got
What
married.
is Nat's wedding? Is Nat's wedding
If-
this year?
Yep.
Yeah.
If somebody
Yep,
like me got married, that
I would
be
be
something
there.
you'd come out of
Yeah.
wedding retirement for.
So it's so
If I
funny
got married?
because
Win.
I said this in the last episode. I think that it was like I went through this grieving process of like, am I wasted talent if I don't take on weddings? Like
Yeah.
wedding photography has been part of my identity as a business owner forever. It's very hard for me to not share weddings on social media. And recently I just had a conversation. I was like, it's almost doing a disservice to like the client if I'm not sharing their pictures on my page. And so I've been trying to like really be intentional about what I'm sharing. I'm a little behind on like social media posting because I have been taking intentional time away from social media to catch up in the real life, like personally and in my business.
Yeah.
So, I haven't been like posting a ton on my photography page, but it's so weird because in weddings, I feel like I have been just like always grinding on the weddings and summer happens and it's over in a blink of an eye and I breathe and it's November and it's like, okay, I don't know where that time went. And here I have a bajillion photos that I have to edit and I'm behind. And so this year I had a different approach where it was like, I'm going to take 2 months off of weddings, fill my time with other things that fuel me and make me feel really secure in my business, but also really bring me a lot of joy. And it has been like, I don't think I'll go back to like doing a ton of weddings every year. I mean, I used to shoot 45 weddings a year and
in 52 weeks.
Yeah, it was a lot of double, triple wedding weekends and burnout. And I know anybody in that industry can relate to the burnout of what summer is. It's such a beautiful season. And as a photographer, you are outside shooting in it and then you are at home editing the beautiful photos and you miss out on a lot of things unless you are intentional about saying like, this is a weekend for my family. Yeah. For me, I always got stuck in wishing every weekend was for my family. And so that was
one, have the weekends off.
And that was one thing too, where it's like my husband has off on the weekends. And so I would be at weddings and then he would be at like festivals or fairs, like county fairs with my kids. And I'm like, I'm sad about that. And I had to weigh the pros and cons. And when it came down to it, the money just wasn't enough of a reason anymore. And I love my clients and I am so appreciative of them and their patience when it's busy season because everybody has such great patience when you know that you're getting married in July, you can pretty much guarantee like there's a wait for your wedding photos, right? Like anytime, like anything good takes time to create. And the storytelling vibe of photography, I feel it's for me, it's more challenging to put together that story. It takes a lot more effort and time and thinking behind it to say, what emotion do I want this photo to evoke kind of? And so taking that intentional time in the summer has been something that I've always dreamt about. And now I'm finally in it and I'm living it. And I feel like I'm thriving in my life in terms of like, I get to spend so much time with families and these new moms. And I get to bring them into this space that we're sitting in and hear their story and document their life and help them feel better about themselves in this new season of life in motherhood or their family dynamic or documenting and freezing those times of their children growing or their oldest child with their little new baby. And so I've been filling all of those days with that.
And still having your weekends.
Correct. And still having my weekends and my availability to be able to hang out with my kids and really be intentional about that. So summer to me has been more of like a slow down, just really only take on the work that you're really wanting and that you're really needing right now. And I actually did hire like a personal assistant for my emails.
What?
Yeah. And that's going absolutely amazing. I was finding that towards the beginning of the year, I know in the last episode, we talked about how the first like 6-7 months look different for everybody, right? Like I can't believe that the year's already halfway over, but we've had a lot of like personal projects in our house and stuff. And for me, I've been just like working so hard on intentionally making sure that my life feels like fulfilled. And so I was, I guess like, I don't know, the first 6 months I was taking time to, I literally lost my train of thought.
You were talking about the personal assistant for your emails.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was taking time to set aside so much in the beginning of the year to dedicate to answering emails. And I was working until like 2:00 in the morning. Yeah. And I started to realize that my stress levels were really high. And I started to like really pay attention to that. And like, why am I not sleeping well? Why am I not able to like feel like, why don't I feel healthy? Why my brain is brain fog constantly. And so I went kind of to the source of where my anxiety is in my business. And that's turning leads into bookings. So filling my calendar, my email gets so jam packed and then I get so overwhelmed and I forget to answer people. Mm-hmm. And that's just like I'm just I guess admitting one of my faults there in
amazing.
the podcast is like, it's really hard for me to keep up when I'm at home. When I'm on my phone, when I'm with my kids, I feel an immense amount of guilt as a mom.
Yeah.
And I can't get past it. And I am always feeling like I'm a bad mom if I'm sitting here scrolling on my phone. And there was one time that Wes looked at me and he goes, "You don't need to look at your phone right now." And he was playing with Magnetiles. And it's like, okay, he's probably heard Zach say that to me or Addie say that to me or whatever. So it's maybe just like surface level. But for me, it went deeper. And I was like, what can I do to relieve this like issue of not being able to turn these leads into bookings because they think I'm ghosting them. They're still searching for photographers. So they go with the other person that answered immediately.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I hired someone who just 1 hour every day, she answers any of my leads. She organizes my bookings. She tells me what I need to send contracts out to. And she takes those emails that are inquiries and turns them into a date on my calendar. And it's been work from home. She was a teacher and she quit her teaching job. And so she's at home and it's just like filler work for her. And it's been so cool. And I actually shot her wedding.
You did. I love
So it was really, it's
so it gives
been,
her some purpose, gives you some direction.
Yeah. And it's been really nice. So it's helped take some of that evening hours, like where I would be spending 2 hours from the time my child finally goes to bed to, 2 hours later and then feeling so depleted. And then I wake up the next morning and I'm so tired.
Yeah.
It takes that away and I can go to bed knowing that I have a calendar, I have a schedule, and I know where I'm going to be the next day or whatever. And it's just there for me. So it's been really good. Yeah.
So I'm wondering if you and I can chip in to have her assistant get a little bit more time in a day to answer texts as well. Is there a text response add-on as well?
I should ask her
What's
that.
her name? Let's put her in the group.
Like, can we add like 90 minutes a day instead of 60 minutes a day?
Right.
Like, I won't pay you for this. It'll come from an outside source, but just want to add like
Just
text.
When you ask me if I'm okay, I'll make sure that
Just pretend you're Allie.
I really have to get better at that.
It's okay.
Everyone,
Then what would we teach
joke
you about?
because we love.
it's so funny because I sent my sister this one like meme and it was like, "What do you bring to the group chat?" And then it says, like the little asterisk and it goes, "I mute it." I'm like, I sent it to my sister and I was like, "Is this me?" And she goes, "I'm dying. I'm dead. That is you. You are the one that mutes the group." Like, we have so many different, I don't know if you guys, your family's like this, but so many group chats. Like a group chat started for each individual thing and it goes from Facebook, then it goes to like text message. Then sometimes it's like, whatever. It's like,
I was on my
too much
business group chat for a hot minute and then I was like, take me out of this group or we're breaking up.
Yeah.
Like I love everybody on your team, but I'm done with them.
Yeah, I can't be in this.
Can't do it.
So long story short, it's just slow but steady.
There's nothing wrong with that. I love that. Summer for us is the busiest time. That's where a bulk of the money comes for the year, is between probably May through September, May through October. Best lighting, best weather for real estate. So some of the agents that I work with, they push a lot harder during that time to get listings. So it's more
nobody wants to
more
buy a house in
videos.
December or January.
True. Why would they do that, right?
Yeah.
So that's when I bought my house, but it's fine. You buy when you need to buy. But it just, in general, is a lot easier, right? You can do a lot more. That's where a lot of these vacation rental clients have come from, right? The house looks much prettier on Lake Michigan when it's blue out and it's pretty, right? As opposed to frozen
Green
over
trees
terrible.
instead of dirty snow.
Exactly. So those industries that I focus a lot in jump up, but then it allows me to do a lot more outdoor shoots, right? So then I can do stuff. I can reach out to brands, to clothing, to items, to whatever it might be, right? And say, okay, we can do this shoot outside, or I have a controlled environment I can shoot in. However, it's going to look so much prettier if we do this in July versus February, right?
Yeah.
So it allows just to showcase the items, the bags, the drinks, whatever it is, in such a more natural habitat as opposed to a staged or a faked one sometimes. So
totally.
It's a catch-22, right? Because the boys have summer school, so they're staying in that routine. But then obviously summer is when we want to go and do stuff as a family as well. So I have gotten maybe too good at not working at nights anymore, because I realize, obviously, and I'm also giving myself grace because I have an 11-week-old baby at home, right?
Yeah.
So I am like, where I would typically say, yep, like I'm gonna do this tonight, right? Like Rachel yelled at me the other night because she was like, because it wasn't right, but it was like she
reminded,
she pokes, she jabs at me at times, right? Because I had said, like, I was like, all right, like after Owen goes to bed, like I need to do editing tonight, like I need to catch up, I need to do some admin stuff, like I'm behind, and I like advocated for it, and she's like, yep, all good. Owen took a lot longer to go to bed, and I volunteered to help put him to bed because Rachel needed a break. She'd been home with him all day, right? So it was closer to like 8:45, 9 by the time he was actually asleep. And I walked out in the living room and I was like, all right, like, well, I'm going to get ready for bed and all this. And she was like, well, I thought you had to edit. I was like, I don't want to start working at 9, right?
Yeah.
I was good with this if he went to bed an hour ago, but I'm like, I know about myself. If I start, I'm not going to come to bed until 11 or 12. I'm like,
Exactly.
and I don't want to do that because I have to wake up at 5 plus wake up with him once or twice in the middle of the night. So I'm like, an hour is really not that big a deal, but I was like, no, like I'm not going to do that. Right. Like, and I tried to make that intentional to block that out, but it's hard because then I'm like, well, when am I supposed to do stuff?
Yeah, I wouldn't sleep.
Yeah.
This is the hard part, right? Because then I lay in bed and I'm like,
yeah.
So, and when and how, but I'm like, but I know that I'm useless if I don't sleep. So I'm like, okay, but when am I going to do some of this stuff? Right. So it's every week is a little bit different. And Rachel and I do a good job of reminding each of that every week of like, hey, like, what are we doing this week?
Yeah. Let's get through today.
Like, let's get through today. Let's do this week. Like, how much of a dent can I make? And part of that is working with the right clients, right? Like, and making sure that they understand that the stuff will come and some of it will, take a smidge longer depending on what it is, right? But making sure that I've communicated that properly, and then they also know the conversation
they know the
back and
expectation,
forth,
right?
Exactly. I'm like, you're not going to get a 24-hour turnaround unless it's a real estate video. Like, it's just not going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Like, so trying to make sure that everybody knows everything right across the board,
and setting those boundaries so that you're not sitting at home at 9 o'clock at night after you just spent an hour and a half putting your son to bed and feeling guilty that you don't have that one video that you meant to work on during that hour where your family needed you more than your business did, because you're going to get it to them. The credibility of your business is there and you will get it to them.
Correct.
But your family needed you more at that moment. And then what are you supposed to do? Not sleep?
And I think it's a little bit off topic, but we had a situation where my son's car had an issue. We took it in, took like 3 days to get the issue diagnosed, then found out that I have an extended warranty that I bought, which I'd forgotten I bought. So went back to the warranty company, took 3 to 4 days for the warranty company to get back to us. So the process has been exhausting. And my son, of course, is without a car. So he's constantly like, Mom, where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? And I'm like, listen, dude, I'm trying, but we're working with 4 different companies right now. Right. We're working with a warranty company, the company that we bought the car from, the dealership who has the car now, and then the make and model of the car. And Friday, the gentleman was supposed to give us a call to give us the final resolution so we could move forward with fixing the car. It's now been 5 weeks and he didn't call. And my son was in uproar. Like, he's like, Mom. I'm like, we're taking care of it. Well, we find out yesterday that the man's 21-year-old daughter went into labor with twins, lost them both.
Oh, I'm so sad for that.
So I literally called my son and I'm like, listen, here's the skinny about you not having a car today. And it was a tough, I had to be tough on him. And I had to say, we don't know what's going on in people's lives. And that's a very dramatic story.
It is, but it's true.
People don't know, you're tired, you have a baby at home. People don't know that we have other lives and they sometimes forget. And I think that's where the reality of giving ourselves some grace when we don't respond to something in a minute. I have a client that's not responded to me in 10 days and we have a deadline and everybody's in an uproar. I'm like, he told me he was going to be on vacation for 7 days. I knew he was going to be gone for 7 days. Then it was a Friday he got back. So that's day 8. Then Saturday, Sunday's day 9, 10, and everybody's in an uproar and I get it, but I got to give the guy time to regroup for a minute,
totally.
Right? So he's probably feeling the stress of all of my team. Are you here? Are you alive? What's going on? And I'm trying to be the middleman of saying, let's give him some grace. He was on family vacation. But I think there are lessons that we need to give ourselves grace, but we also need to set the proper expectations. And then people that are working with us need to know that we do have life sometimes that happens.
Yeah. And in summer, life is faster. It's much faster. And in summer, you're between personal and business. We talk about balance a lot on this podcast. And sometimes in summer, the balance is a struggle. Yeah. Because the weather's nice. And as entrepreneurs that are in that media industry, you only get so many nice days. Right. You got to get it. You got to do it. You got to work in the evenings when your spouse maybe is expecting you for dinner. Golden hour.
You can't just
and
sit
it's
on the
there,
patio
and
and do a
we only get so
podcast.
many of them too, especially with like the rain that we've had all of June.
Oh, it's
like
been
June is
so
normally a very
hard to
beautiful
plan.
month, and like almost every
awful.
single wedding I saw, like they had rain on their wedding day. Like that's a really hard thing, and so for anybody, like summer is just very fast paced, and it's a blink of an eye in Wisconsin. It's a blink of an eye everywhere, but in Wisconsin, when you have 2 months of very beautiful weather, it goes so much faster.
Yeah. And we all need the time to enjoy it because we all are happier if we have a little vitamin D and a little
absolutely.
sunshine and a little balance.
Yep, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
I love that. So when do you pick up for your busy season? You're in your busy season.
I'm in it, yeah.
I'm trying to stay consistent. I mean,
But I will say, just as a caveat, though, because of the consistency and the growth, the busy season extends. Right? And I've been grateful for that, right? It was December to March was like, what's happening? There's nothing going on, right? You're scraping for anything. And now it's like, no, we're steady. We're finding those retainer clients, the ones that doesn't matter if we're inside or outside, right? Type of things.
And
like,
keep coming back to.
Correct.
You have monthly every 3 months. For me too, like I relate to that in the sense that like this was my first year. 2023 was my first year where I actually was consistent all through winter because of this space between rentals and because of the work that I do.
Yeah.
So that consistency has just built all throughout the year, and I've just felt steady the whole year, which is great. So yeah. I guess
love that.
the conversation too about summer and how you spend your time in summer, that looks different for everybody. So yeah.
Yeah. And I think for us with kids that are home for the summer, right? Even though your boys go to summer school, my daughter goes to summer school, Wes has a sitter. We have to soak up some of these also fun experiences that are only available to us in these, like you said, Country Fest.
Yeah, totally.
We're doing the week at the lake, these things that we only have these small windows of opportunity to do. Play around a golf if you can. Because
one day.
Things you look forward to.
Killing me.
Yeah.
Things you look forward to that make your life just so much more exciting in summer. Like you have to hold on to those things.
And you know what you sign up for, right, as a parent too, right? Like Beckham's got a baseball tournament next week or this week, and it's like, nope, like every night, like Wednesday through Saturday is that. It's like, okay, that's what we're doing, right? That's our thing, right? That's our focus this week is something exciting for the kids, right? And you're like, fantastic. I'm like, and of course my brain's like, I don't get to edit any of those nights. And I'm like, no, like I get to watch my son play a sport that he's excited about in this season. And I hope his team does well.
And take awesome pictures.
I totally feel the same way.
Correct.
Not working.
Being in coaching Addie too, I'm her head coach for softball, and it's been so cool to step aside and be like able to really do that. So.
And she will remember you being on your phone from time to time, but she will also very much remember that.
Correct.
Yeah.
And those milestones, like
that means so much.
Yeah.
Right? The other ones, the day to day, because they're special.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Love it.
So I love that we got to have this little chit chat about that because we would love to know what summer looks like for you guys. And obviously it looks different for everybody. And hopefully you're in a season where you can just enjoy the beautiful weather and some of the little moments that make life so worthwhile. And if you're a business owner and an entrepreneur, hopefully you have days where you feel totally fulfilled doing something aside from your business, but also can really feel fulfilled when you're able to spend time at your business as well in summer.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
So that being said, it's 85 and sunny. So
we love you guys, but we're going to go.
Go.
Yeah. And
Again,
by the way, if we do take this on the lake, I still don't think that we'll show up in our swimwear. So that's going to be
I'll show up in a cute cover up.
Little cover up, little sundress,
swimsuit cover up or something.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.